So if you are watching on the replay, you want to get a pen, paper, tablet, whatever you take notes with, because you are not going to want to miss this. If you are an online marketer, if you have an online business, even if your business is not online, more than likely, or not entirely online, maybe you have a bricks and mortar business, but more than likely, part of your business is online. You operate in some capacity online and need to get in front of people. You need to sell your products, your services online. And that is something I specialize in. I run a consultancy and digital strategy company called Swag Strategy Solutions, where swag is not just cool, but it is cool. It's also an acronym that stands for Strategic Women Achieve Growth. So, we can talk more about that later, but I want to drop these tips on you because, guys, I have to run. I have groceries to pick up. So, oh, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? All right. So, if you are not doing this in your marketing online, and that could be on social media, that could be in your posts, that could be in your videos, it can be in your emails. There are different ways you can use what I'm going to share with you. But if you're not doing any of this, you really are doing yourself a disservice. You are working harder versus smarter. All right, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We want as much as possible to work smarter versus harder. All right. So the first thing I want to share with you, and there is some psychology, there's some there is some psychology that comes into this, buyer psychology, just human psychology, because a lot of this has to do with the human mind and how um it has to do with curiosity. I'll say that. And so the first hack I want to talk about is the use of certain words. There are certain power words, if you will, in marketing, certain words that are just, again, it's partly a psychological thing, and then they're just proven. They've been proven to convert more. And one of those words, and this is one of the best and the most highly converting word, one of the most, I probably didn't say, one of the best converting words. Let me say that. And do you want to know what it is? Does anyone have an idea? You just, I'm just curious if you know, because there are several, but this one may be the number one word. And there's some debate about this, frankly, but okay. And guys, I'm not seeing comments. I see people on, but I'm not seeing comments. So I don't know if I'm just missing the comments. Drop your name, drop where you are from in the comments, how you found me, what you're doing this evening, whatever you want to share. If you have a business, you can drop that as well. Um, but okay, I'm gonna get to it. The word I'm talking about is you. You, Y-O-U, you. You is so powerful in marketing. And some of you can probably determine why that is, but if not, because it makes people think you are speaking directly to them. You're saying you. So as much as possible, incorporate you in your copy. This can apply to text. This certainly applies in video. This applies to email, really any form, in any type of content. Incorporate you. Use you as much as possible. So if you are doing a live stream just like I'm doing now, or maybe you're doing a pre-recorded video and you want someone to do something, there is a call to action, as there should be a call to action. Say, instead of saying they, instead of saying we, I mean, in certain capacities, I mean, we, if you're talking about you and somebody else, obviously that will make sense. But if you are talking to someone Say you as much as possible. You. Y-O-U. All right. Hey, Lance. Hello, Patrick. Yes. 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 What are you saying yes to? Understood? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right. So that is the first hack. Incorporate you as much as possible. And again, this applies to just about all content. Social media, here on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, your emails, copy, sales pages. This can also really be powerful if you are using sales pages. A lot of people have trouble creating sales pages, writing sales pages. Use you as much as you can, because again, it makes people feel that you are speaking directly to them. It is a simple way to personalize, customize, make people feel seen and heard. And we absolutely want to do that. All right. So that's one. All right. All right. Oh, Patrick, you're on your brother's iPad. Okay. Well, Patrick, you may still learn something here. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the next online marketing hack, proven online marketing hack. Let's see, 13. Oh, well, you're 13. You're a teenager. You're old enough to learn some things, Patrick. And especially if, I don't know if you create content. I don't know if you make videos, if there's anything you want to sell. Maybe you are an entrepreneur or a salesman in the making. So this is good information. Okay. All right. So number two, second thing you want to do is attach your call to action to a benefit. Attach your call to action to a benefit. Whatever you want someone to do, attach that to what it will do for them, how it will benefit them. So if you, for example, let's say you are an accountant. I work a lot with service providers, coaches, consultants, strategists, accountants, project managers, web designers, photographers, mostly service-based businesses. So if you are an accountant, if you do taxes, and you want someone to, let's say you are having a virtual training or you're having a webinar and you're trying to get people to attend your webinar. Well, instead of just saying, sign up here, instead of saying, grab your spot, don't miss it, you have to point out how is it going to benefit them. Now, you may be thinking, well, they should know that. I'm going to help them save on their taxes. I'm going to help them, fill in the blank. But it still may not be clear to them, or they may just need a reminder. And often your prospects need a reminder more than you may think they do. A lot of times we are concerned about bugging people. We're concerned about being in their face too much. No, you need to be in their face. and you may have to risk possibly bugging them. Although most of the time when you think you're bugging people, you're not. That's more you and just being in your head too much. But you have to really highlight the benefit, what's in it for them. All right. So you need to, instead of just saying, grab your spot or sign up here, if you want to stop overpaying your taxes, grab your spot. See how that works? If you want to save at least an extra $1,000 next year on your taxes, you should attend. Think about a benefit, and not just any old benefit, not something that they could care less about or they may or may not care about. Make sure it is something that they really care about. It's something very important to them. This is why it's so incredibly important for you to know your customer, know your client inside and out. You need to know what makes them tick. You need to know what are their challenges. You need to know what are their desires. What's their desired outcome? All right. So highlight the benefit and then attach that to whatever you want them to do. All right. Again, something that can be really big on a sales page. You're trying to sell something on a sales page. You need to point out the benefits and connect those benefits to what you are offering. All right? Connect the benefit to what you have to offer. Okay? All right. That was 2. 3 3 also has to do with words, but it goes beyond words. It's really realizing the power of storytelling. Storytelling. Incorporate storytelling into your marketing, particularly online. Now, there are different ways to do that, but kind of simple way to do that applies to your hook or hooks. All right. What is a hook? A hook is like a headline. Think of it as a headline. Think of it as the thing that you should start out with, especially in a video. Just like I'm doing a video now. The first thing I said, I kind of repeated the title, but the title is also a benefit. I'm saying 3 online marketing hacks or 3 proven, whatever I said that in the beginning. So anyone interested in getting better at online marketing, anyone interested in being able to improve and increase their sales online, anyone interested in wanting to market more effectively online, well, that's going to get their attention. So the same applies to your audience. What's important to them? Then make it like a story. And so storytelling hooks are hooks that have a sense of a story. I'll give you a couple of examples. This is an example of a storytelling hook. Honey, you should sit down before you hear this. Get that? Let me repeat that. Honey, you should sit down before you hear this. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, do I have to say honey? Maybe you don't want to say honey. I say honey because I don't care. And I'm a Southern Black woman. So it's it's not really a surprise that I might say honey. If you don't want to say honey, fine. The point is, you want to bring people in. You want to have them believe you're getting ready to share something with them juicy, and perhaps something that you're not sharing with everybody else, and something that's going to get their mental juices going. Again, this taps into psychology. A lot of people, maybe not all people, but many people are nosy. You can call it curiosity, but for a lot of people, it's just downright nosiness. All right. People want to know things. And so when you start a video, when you start a blog post, you start a social media post with a hook, it draws them in. That's why it's called a hook. It's designed to hook them so they want to know more, so they don't keep scrolling, because otherwise they will keep scrolling. All right. Sometimes even when you're introducing yourself, you can be doing yourself a disservice. Because before you get your name out, unless you're a celebrity, unless you're a major influencer, you already have a large audience, a lot of people know who you are, well, then they don't really care. And I know that may be harsh or sounds harsh, but it's true. If they don't really know you and they don't know why they should pay you any attention, they're probably not. So you have to hook them. All right. So that's one example of a storytelling hook. Honey, you should sit down before you hear this. Another one. Picture this. Now you can follow that up with a lot of different things, but begin the statement with picture this. Again, it's the feel of a story, like you're going to tell a story. Because what are most people going to do when you say, picture this? Well, they're going to start picturing. Their imagination starts with, what am I picturing? And then you go on to tell them, picture this. You've lost 25 pounds, those 25 pounds you've been trying to get rid of for the longest. You've lost them and you look wonderful at your 20th class reunion. Let me tell you how that's going to happen. See, You're setting this up. Now, for someone looking to lose weight, for someone who has a class reunion coming up, but maybe it's not a class reunion, maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's a family reunion, maybe it's a date. Whatever it is, it's something important to them. They want to look their best. They've been wanting to lose weight. If you're a fitness trainer, if you're a health coach, that's a great hook because your target audience, they would be interested in that. See where I'm going with this? So there are different types of hooks, and I share a lot more in terms of hooks in my 3C blueprint: captivate, connect, convert. Captivate, connect, convert. So you can get a ton more of storytelling and other hooks along with some killer AI prompts, calls to actions that are not boring, compelling calls to actions. You can get all of that in the 3C blueprint. So if that's something you want, you can go to digitalassets.pay.me, digitalassets.pay.me. And depending on where you're seeing this, you're probably seeing this on YouTube. That link should be in the channel description as well, but that's where you can grab that. But storytelling hooks are some of the most powerful hooks because, again, it is drawing people in, and that's what you want to do. You want to draw people in, get them interested so you can tell them more, so you can engage them. I often say before you get people to pay, you have to get them to pay attention. Attention is currency, guys. Before you can get them to pay, you have to get them to pay attention. All right. So let me just recap. So number one, you want to incorporate you in your marketing, in your messaging as much as possible. Emails, social media, posts, videos, you. Say you, because you're talking to someone. I mean, I'm thinking you're talking to someone. So personalize it. Use you, Y-O-U. Second thing, you want to attach your call to action to a benefit and a major benefit for your target audience. And lastly, you want to incorporate storytelling, in particular, storytelling hooks. All right. So there you go. There are your 3 proven online marketing hacks. Perhaps some of you have already used these, or you've used at least one of these. If so, that is wonderful. I challenge you to use all of them. All right. And if this is new to you, then let me know. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. If you have heard of any of these. Also, if you understand what I'm saying about the psychological aspect of this and what happens in our brains and our minds, it's y'all, it's very real. All right. So if you have not already subscribed, I invite you to do so, especially if you are a service-based business owner, you have a service-based business, you are an expert, a thought leader, a content creator, including a reluctant content creator, because all content creators are not willing content creators. For example, a lot of business owners are also content creators, but not necessarily because they want to be. It's just because they have to be. If any of that applies and you want to grow and monetize your brand, leveraging smart digital strategies, this is the place. All right. And digital strategies such as social SEO, content, especially video, AI, generative AI, digital products, then this is where you want to be. All right. All right, guys, that is it for me, at least for now. Until next time, I'm Rachel Thibodeau, founder, CEO, Swag Strategy Solutions. Take care and take some action.